皆さんおはようございます。Thank you for joining me today. This is the Easy Japanese News article of the day for June 5th, 2026. 2026年6月5日の今日の記事でございます。So we have our headline. 若い人が特留の犯罪をしないように警察が学校で話す。So let's take a quick look at the vocab from our headline. We have 若い, which is young. 特留. 特留 is a special phrase that's been given for this certain group or these certain groups. Anonymous fluid criminal groups. And we'll talk about what those are in the article. Then we have 犯罪, which is crime. 警察, which is police. And 学校, which is school. Okay, jumping back into our headline, we have 若い人が. So 若い here is young. It is modifying our noun 人, which is person. So young people. が, they're going to do something. Then we have 特留, which is going to be the anonymous fluid criminal groups, which we'll talk about in the article. の犯罪. So 犯罪 is crimes. This no is saying crimes of 特留 or 特留 crimes. お, and you have a verb that will be doing something to 犯罪, which is する. But then する, when we put it in the negative, turns to しない. So to not do these crimes, these 特留 crimes. And then ように. ように is used when we say so that something happens or something doesn't happen. So when we have A ように B, it would be like B so that A. So here our A is going to be young people do not commit 特留 crimes. So in order for young people to not commit 特留 crimes, we have our B here, which is 警察, the police, が, they are going to do something. 学校, school, and our particle で, which tells us there's going to be an action going on at the school. So at school, 話す is talk. So that young people do not get involved with or perform 特留 crimes, the police are going to talk at school. Okay, getting into the vocab from the rest of our article, we have SNS. So SNS, which is social media, literally coming from the phrase social networking service. That's where the SNS comes from. Then we have 集める, to gather or collect. 事件 is a case or an incident, like a murder case, or in this case, robbery cases. We have 増える, to increase. 強盗事件, which is robbery. So you'll notice we have 強盗 and then 事件. So 事件 is that one we had earlier with the case or incident. But 強盗事件 is a robbery case. We have 捕まる, to be arrested, caught. 高校生 is a high school student. 危険 is danger. 伝える is to tell or to inform. 警察官 is a police officer. 中学校 is a middle school or junior high school. 高校 is high school. And 許す is to forgive.
SNS で若い人を集めて犯罪をさせる事件が増えています。SNS で若い人を集めて犯罪をさせる事件が増えています。このような犯罪をするグループは特留と呼ばれています。警察によると去年、特留の強盗事件で14歳から19歳の人が116人捕まっています。先月、栃木県で起こった事件でも高校生が捕まりました。警察は特留の危険を もっと若い人に伝えなければならないと考えています。今月からは警察官が中学校や高校に行って犯罪をした後お金をもらえないことや若くても許してもらえないことを伝えます。
All right, let's jump right into our article.
SNS で若い人を集めて犯罪をさせる事件が増えています。
Okay, SNS で、so SNS, social media, で、via or by means of social media, 若い人, so once again, young people or young individuals, お it's going to be a verb doing something to young people. Then we have 集めて, which is to gather. So gathering young people. And then that's in the te form. So there's going to be something going on after it. So 若い人を集めて gathering young people and 犯罪をさせる. So 犯罪 is crime or is our object. And then our verb here is する in the causative form, which is させる. To make someone do something here. Making someone commit crimes. So we are gathering young people, 若い人を集めて and making them do crimes. 犯罪をさせる. 事件. And then all of this before 事件 is describing what kind of 事件 we're dealing with. 事件 is a case or incident. So cases wherein young people are gathered via social media and they are forced to commit crimes. And such cases が it's gonna do something 増えています. So 増える is to increase. And then that's currently increasing. So instead of just 増える, we're going to use the ている form and put that in the ます. So 増えています. Cases wherein young people are gathered via social media and forced to commit crimes or put up to crimes, not necessarily forced, but made to do these crimes. Those cases are increasing.
このような犯罪をするグループは特流と呼ばれています。
Okay. このような. So このような we can add in front of a noun to say such a something. So here we have 犯罪, which is crimes. So このような犯罪 would be such crimes. And that's going to be talking about what we referred to in the last sentence, or what we talked about in the last sentence. So such crimes を object particle する. So to do, doing such crimes. グループ. So all of this is describing our group. Groups who commit such crimes は it's our main topic here 特流と呼ばれています So this is just the name of it 特流 Now it does come from certain kanji They're kind of complex kanji So we won't really go over it But basically it's just a shortened version of They're anonymous and fluid So they're really hard to track Right Because basically they're getting people who are not part of crime groups and they're just making them do these small crimes or working all together to do a big crime and then those people are not affiliated with the crime group whatsoever so it's harder to track them and they get the other people in trouble instead of themselves but they still get the crime done right but anyways that's kind of what 特流 stands for but 特流と呼ばれています so this to here kind of quotes this thing in front of it, which is the 特流. And then we have 呼ばれています. So 呼ぶ is to call. And then that is put in the passive form to be called 呼ばれる. And then we are also putting that in the ている form. So ています. 呼ばれています is called, currently being called. So groups that commit such crimes are called 特留.
警察によると、去年、特留の強盗事件で14歳から19歳の人が116人捕まっています。
Okay. 警察によると. So 警察 is police. によると is what we say when we want to say according to. So this is where we're getting our information. According to the police, 警察によると。去年 last year, 特留の so 特留の something of them or from them 強盗事件で so 強盗 is robbery or theft and then 事件 is cases, so cases of robbery or theft connected to 特留で so in such cases 14歳から19歳の人 so 14歳. This psi we add on to numbers to say years of age. Kara, we're giving the start of a range from 14 years old to 19歳, 19 years of age. No hito. So this is describing our hito, but we're going to use a no to say that. So hito is person. So individuals or people from the age group of 14 to 19 ga. They're going to do something here. 116人. So 116 would be 116. Nin is our counter for people. So that's why we add that there. And then 捕まっています. So 捕まる is to be arrested or to get caught. And then this ています. This is the ている form once again. They have been caught or arrested. So, according to the police, last year, 116 people in the age group of 14 to 19 have been arrested in robbery crimes or robbery cases related to 特留.
先月、栃木県で起こった事件でも高校生が捕まりました。
Okay, 先月 is what she said out loud, but this is going to be 5月, which is May or last month. And 栃木県 is Tochigi Prefecture. で something is going to happen in Tochigi Prefecture. 起こった 起こる is for something to occur or happen. That's in the past tense here. So something that has occurred in Tochigi県. And then 事件, a case or an incident that happened in Tochigi県. でも so で and も we're using both of these particles to mean like even in this case. So we talked about a whole bunch of cases in the last sentence, but we're saying, oh, even in this case that happened in Tochigi県 last month, 高校生 高校生 is high school student or high school students が捕まりました. So once again, our subject particle が saying there's going to be someone doing something, and then 捕まる to get caught. And then we're putting that in the past polite form. So 捕まりました. So even in a case that happened in Tochigi Prefecture last month, May, a high school student was arrested.
警察は特留の危険をもっと若い人に伝えなければならないと考えています。
Okay. 警察は so 警察 is going to be the police. は our main topic or framework here. 特留の危険 so 特留 is going to be 特留 again. Those groups. の危険 something of them, and that something is going to be danger. So the danger of these 特留 groups. を we're going to do something to that danger. もっと means more. 若い人 is going to be young people. に something to these young people. And then our verb 伝える, which is to tell or convey information. And then we are connecting なければならない to that verb, which means must. So, must tell young people more about the dangers of 特流 to. So this to once again kind of tells us there's going to be something in front of this that the verb is related to. And here our verb is 考えています or 考える. So 考える is to think or to consider. And then that is in the ています. So ている form and then ます for politeness. So 考えています. They are currently thinking. And that connects back to 警察は. So our police are thinking that, and that to tells us that this is that, right? It's a phrase they're thinking of. The dangers of 特流 must be told more to young people.
今月からは警察官が中学校や高校に行って犯罪をした後お金をもらえないことや若くても許してもらえないことを伝えます。
Okay, so 6月からは So 6月 is going to be this month or June. I think she said 今月, which is going to be this month. から from, and then からは here is kind of giving us our framework. So this is like saying starting this month or starting in June. 警察官が So 警察官 is going to be police officers. が they're going to do something or be something. 中学校や高校 So 中学校 is going to be a junior high school or a middle school. And 高校 is going to be a high school. This や tells us, okay, these are some examples of things, but there could be other things similar to that they will also... Here we haven't gotten to our verb, but we're getting there. And then に行って So this is 行く to go. に tells us we're going to, right? So starting in June or this month, police officers will go to junior high schools and high schools. And then this 行く in the て form tells us there's going to be more that they're going to be doing or something else happening in the sentence. And then we have 犯罪 is crime を doing a crime with する. So する means to do. This is in the past tense. So する completely changes to した. And that connects to 後, which means after. So after committing a crime, お金 is money. お金を there's going to be a verb doing something to that money. And then our verb is もらう, which is to receive. It's being put in the potential form もらえる, to be able to receive or to be able to get. And then that is being also put in the negative もらえない, unable to receive. So unable to receive money after committing a crime. We're putting that into a こと as like a solid idea. The fact that you won't get money after committing the crimes. や once again we have this や here saying that we're giving examples but also including other things. And we have 若くても. So 若い is young. And then when we have something in the て form followed by も, a lot of times that's going to mean even if this is the case. So 若くても even if you are young. 許して. So this is 許す to forgive or pardon something. Then we have the て form with もらう. So you are receiving of someone doing this for you. That is being put in the potential yet again, もらえる. And then that potential is being yet again put into the negative form, ない. So もらえない. You cannot receive of this, right? And then when we have a verb in the te form before that, they are not going to do this for you. And here we have yurusu, which is to forgive. So even if you're young, they will not forgive you, or you cannot receive of them forgiving you or pardoning you. You will be punished, right? Then we have another koto to kind of solidify this as a complete idea. The thing that you won't get money after committing a crime, and the thing that you will not be pardoned even if you're young. O tsutaemasu. So o, these are the two things that are specifically mentioned, but there's other things implied. The o tells us those are the things being something or is being done to them, and then our verb is tsudaeru. So tsudaeru is once again to convey or tell people information. So starting in this month or June, police officers will go to junior highs and high schools and tell them, we're kind of jumping around all the way down to tsutaemasu, tell them that after they do the crimes, they will not be able to receive the money. Yeah. Even if they are young, they will not be pardoned. Then this yeah kind of tells us, etc. And other things like that. So those are two things they're specifically going to say, but they could be saying more along those lines. So yeah, if you look into these tokuryu groups, it's kind of scary what they do. There have been robbery cases and even murder cases recently where they've gotten really young kids to commit robberies and murders, promising them money, and then that they'll even help them get away with it. But kind of scary what you can do with social media and things like that, and particularly when kids are involved that don't know what they're doing. So ちょっと怖いですね。気をつけてください。And that is it for our article today. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed this article. If you did, please like and subscribe. We also have a Japanese learning Discord if you're interested. So please go ahead and look in the link down below and also in the channel page. And I will see you around. Mata ne.